All right, Jonathan, I know you well enough to know that you're not surfing the internet very often, but I do. I'm an internet guy, and I've seen a lot of discussion about your fight with Travis Fulton in the summer of 2018. Some of the stories say that you faked a heart attack. Some say you quit fighting because you got tired. Some say you quit fighting out of respect for Travis Fulton. Can you clear the air on what really happened that night?
Chance, I'll absolutely talk about any of the fights I've ever had over the course of my career so far. But what I don't want to do is I feel like I'm throwing dirt on the name and legacy of who Travis Fulton is. Travis Fulton is a legend in the sport. Anybody that's felt like they've gained anything at all from the sport of MMA owes Travis Fulton respect, because he's a big part of what MMA was and what it's became. He's actually personally, I based a lot of the decisions I made in my career on what I thought Travis Fulton would do. I was kind of the poor man's Travis Fulton. I wanted to be like Travis.
Johnathan Ivey versus Travis Fulton. Johnathan Ivey arguably gave up an Olympic-level gymnastics career to pursue MMA.
And a pretty solid landing, great routine. I do not envy the judges.
He last fought 300-plus fight veteran Travis Fulton at Coliseum Combat in June of this year. Ivey dropped Fulton inside the first round and continued the pressure on the ground. After a barrage of strikes and almost winning the fight, Ivey stopped the pressure, and you can see him staring into the distance and shaking his head. Ivey then returns back to his feet and taps on the ground to end the fight, despite being on the verge of winning. In an interview with MMA Junkie, Ivey said Fulton was defenseless and didn't want to inflict any more damage. He went on to say that Travis Fulton was his hero and actually has a tattoo of Fulton on his leg. Ivey felt the referee should have ended the fight earlier, so Ivey took matters literally into his own hands and stopped the fight himself in a clear sign of respect for Fulton. Two elite athletes and such sportsmanship.
So can you tell us why you actually stopped punching Travis Fulton? I've seen comments on the internet that say you quit punching him because you got tired.
Chance, do you know how long that entire fight lasted off the top of your head?
A little over 3 minutes.
3 minutes. I promise you, in 3 minutes, I did not get so tired that I tapped out. I'm not in the quick tap club, Chance. Before the Travis Fulton fight, I had went 10 years of not tapping for any reason in any fight. And over the course of that 10 years, I had over 30 professional MMA fights of not tapping for any reason. I'm not a tapper. That's not what I do. It wasn't like we were being stood up, right? We were on the ground. The referee was not standing us up. I stood up on my own and decided to stop the fight. If I just simply was exhausted, I could have just collapsed and laid on Travis for the rest of the round. A minute and a half or 2 minutes or whatever was left. So the people that say that I tapped out because I was tired have no basis or merit for saying that. When you go 10 years, over 30 professional fights, and I'm talking about with UFC veterans like Ken Shamrock, Dan Severn, Rico Rodriguez, Travis Bew, I mean, a bunch. So over the course of this time, I went to a judge's decision. A lot of them were 3 rounds, 15 minutes, but a bunch of them were 5 rounds, 25 minutes in title fights. Went to judge's decision 15 times over the course of this 10 years. And to insinuate that I'm going to tap out in 3 minutes, and it was a very slow-paced fight, Chance. This wasn't an action-packed deal here. It's silly, and it's kind of just, it shows the ignorance of people. I don't want to be nasty or dirty or call people names, and sometimes the word ignorant rubs people the wrong way, but that's exactly what it is. It's ignorance in the sport of MMA and of my fight record, to say the least. I'm not a tapper. That's not what we do, and that's not how I get down.
Jonathan, I've actually seen comments that said you tapped out because you thought you were going to lose.
Chance, that's silly. Did anything that you've seen in the course of that 3 minutes of that fight give you the impression that I was going to lose? I mean, nothing that took place in that fight was scary at all. I came out, I took the center of the cage, and it was kind of a real slow-paced fight. We was trading back and forth a little bit, and then I would try to wait and see if Travis would stay in the danger zone a little too long, and when he did, you know, I would fire a left hook and see where that would go. But nothing took place in the course of that 3 minutes that would give me or anybody else the impression that I was scared I was going to lose the fight, you know.
Well, I'd have to agree with you there. Didn't look like you're in any danger.
No.
But there was one moment in the fight where you grabbed your side, and I saw a lot of news reports that said you actually faked a heart attack. Can you tell us about that?
Chance, that's ridiculous. The heart's on this side of the body. I grabbed this side of the body. I was just having fun with the crowd. Travis had landed a kick and it made a loud smack sound and the crowd kind of oohed and awed a little bit. So I was just playing up to the crowd. I do silly things in my fights, as anybody that has seen any number of my fights could tell you. I just like having fun in very intense situations. And it wasn't meant as a sign of disrespect or showboating or anything like that. It was just me having fun and trying to, you know, get a pop out of the crowd and make things, I don't know, a little comical.
So tell us the real reason. Why did you tap and stop the fight?
Why did I stop fighting Travis? Chance, there's a lot of variables to that. Who have I looked up to in my career and tried to pattern myself and emulate, I guess, a little bit? It's pretty much just two guys since the time I've turned professional. Tank Abbott and Travis Fulton. Those are the two guys that I've always looked up to for different reasons, but it's definitely been those two. They're both tattooed on my right leg for a reason. That's not just on there because they're just random people. I really look up to those two guys. Listen, do I wish I landed a left hook and knocked Travis out and kept my belt? Yes, absolutely. Do I wish I would have submitted Travis and been done with it and kept my title? Yes, absolutely. But the fight got to a point where beating Travis wasn't as important to me as saving my hero, per se, from receiving unnecessary damage. The end of the fight happened where I landed a left hook and it knocked Travis against the cage. And then I hit him with a right hand that dropped him. And then I proceeded to land, you know, 3 or 4 punches right after that. I followed him to the ground. The fight should have been stopped there. Travis's eyes rolled back. Listen, I don't want this to come off like I'm trying to diminish Travis Fulton. I'll never be a Travis Fulton. Travis Fulton is at a place I'll never get to, right? No matter how long I fight. So that's not what this is. But Travis, you know, he was done fighting and it should have been stopped at that point. You know, the ISKA, which is a sanctioning body in the state of Tennessee, they've said that I'm one of the best referees in the state of Tennessee. And I've had a ton of professional MMA fights. So I kind of know what's going on. I kind of know when fights should be stopped. There's no referee in all of MMA that has as many professional fights as I have. There's no professional fighter in all of MMA that has reffed as many MMA events as I have. So that unique blend, I feel like kind of gives me the ability to know when a fighter's in a bad spot. The fight should have been stopped with Travis, but it wasn't. So I tried after those, I followed him to the ground and hit him, you know, 10 times. And I tried to talk to the ref and say, ref, he's done fighting. He's not defending himself. He hasn't thrown anything back. He's not defending his head, right? Travis was able to turn his hips where he was kind of, I guess, I don't know, parallel to the cage, and he was able to get a leg up. His head was defenseless. I put my shin on his head to keep it there as I'm talking to the ref and trying to, okay, ref, he's done, and the ref's telling me to keep going. And so I just start hitting him. If you can see like my right hand's moving, I'm just hitting him with the little straight punches, right? Because I didn't want to keep teeing off on him. So I just started doing like a little jackhammer, right? And it just kept hitting him in the head. Travis was so out of it, he underhooked my leg, and that prevented him from being able to block. So I've got my shin on his head. I'm hitting him like this, just, ref, this is done. It's done. So my corner man, he's told me, now I haven't written counted them, but he says I hit him over 40 unanswered punches, right, from the time I dropped him. Chance, the fight was over. It was done. There was no other reason. There was no reason for me to continue to hit Travis. Again, I'm a Travis Fulton fan, right? I don't want to see Travis go through that, but I took an L, and I'm not blaming it on the referee. I think the referee's actually a competent referee. I've just had terrible luck with this ref. Years earlier, I had gotten in a fight up there, and I was fighting a guy, and I leg locked the guy. The guy tapped, right? The referee didn't see the tap, and the guy lied and said he didn't tap. So I ended up, that was another L on my record, another loss. So this is a loss, that was a loss. Over the course of my career, people that know the sport of MMA know that my record is the way it is for a lot of reasons. But there's a lot of those type situations that have came up, and then and me taking fights on a day's notice and things like that. But there's a lot of that going on over the course of my career, and that's why my record's the way it is. I'm not an easy out for anybody. Am I in the quick tap club? No, I didn't tap out because I was tired. I didn't tap out because I was scared I wasn't gonna win. I tapped out because my hero was getting punched in the head, and I was the only one that could stop it and prevent it. Any state commission or referee or MMA fan that has a problem with the way that fight played out, I would really question their knowledge of MMA and the rules and knowing when a fighter's in danger and not. And if they do have a problem with how that played out, I would question their competence in the position they hold. But again, you know, I'll take my L in this one. I wish I would have won the fight. But Travis got the title, and he went on after that and captured another title. So I'm real happy for Travis. And as far as what people say on the internet, man, you got to stay away from stuff like that. But yeah, that's exactly how that played out there in at Coliseum Combat.
Well, let's just play this fight in its entirety and let people see for themselves.
Boom.
Weighing in at 263 and 1/2 pounds, with a record of 78 wins and 64 losses. From Nashville, Tennessee, your Coliseum Combat Heavyweight Champion, Johnathan the Leg Lock Monster Ivey. Fighters to the center of the cage for final instructions by your referee, Gary Copeland.
All right, listen up, fighters. You both receive your instructions in the back. Expect you to listen to my commands at all time. Have a clean, fair fight. Any questions out of you, Red? How about you, Blue? Let's touch them all, prepare to fight.
And these guys have a lot of respect for each other. They know they're both.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, it's just funny. Even when I go anywhere and I see an old school fighter, a guy's been around for a long time, you just have a different level of respect for him, because you're like, they've been around before the fighting was a big thing. And you just understand they know and you know what fighting's really about.
Let's see if he goes for a leg right away.
I would imagine it's coming. You know, I would say the feeling out process, but they've already fought.
Yeah,
you know, there's no feeling out process. Probably know exactly what each guy does. It's a matter of two veterans out here trying to get it done.
Well, Fulton will probably have a fight scheduled for 2 weeks from now anyway. So.
Well, that's old school. I'm not sure if he does it like that anymore, but a little jab, leg kick combination. I'm finding myself not saying much just because I'm liking to watch this action here. I'm liking to see some true veterans of the sport really go at it.
If you're a fight fan, you love this right now.
Absolutely. Just trying to set things up for later on. Throwing some kicks. I know a big right hand's coming here at some point for Fulton. Ivey's looking to try to do that knee bar roll where he jumps into it.
And that's a question I have for you. Is he throwing a lot more lower kicks because those are hard to grab and maybe try to roll into something, or is it just strategically playing off for what's going to happen in?
I think we'll see down the line, but I'm pretty sure he's just trying to set stuff up for later. Just getting that fit. I mean, it actually is a little filling out process. You don't want to jump in there and do too much right away.
Nice left.
You get caught cold, and it doesn't matter who you are, you can go down. The amazing thing about Fulton, he's had like 315 fights. I think he's only had 30 go the distance. That's crazy. I mean, either you're knocking the guy out or he's knocking you.
Yep.
You're submitting him or he's submitting you. That's pretty much it.
Right hands when he throws those legs. Right at 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes.
I mean, less than 10% go the distance. That's crazy. Travis doing a good job of just controlling the ring right now. He's throwing a lot more kicks, a lot more jabs, a lot more punches. He's trying to keep where he wants the fight to be. Good left hand by Ivey. Ivey was surprisingly quick
Ivey's
there.
landed a couple good lefts. You could actually see a little spot on Fulton's head there.
Kicks are working well. We can still hit that inside leg.
Nice head kick.
Ooh, good left. I'm telling you, Ivey's throwing some leather there with that left hand.
Well, you know, Ivey's coming in here as the champion, and he doesn't want to lose this belt.
It's a big thing, you know.
We're in about 2 minutes.
Especially, I mean, Ivey does have.
Let's keep staying busy.
It's hard to say somebody has 42 fights as a loser.
Yeah, exactly.
Good shot.
There you see the oh, nice left hand. And this might be over. Now, those are some big lefts.
The referee is letting this go a little longer based on the respect they have for Fulton having so many fights.
And Fulton is still fighting.
Wow, he was really hurt there. That is the proof that he is such a veteran. He can be hurt and still figure out how to stop that from happening. You don't have 300-something fights without figuring that out. A very good job for Travis Fulton of stopping that from happening, because that very easily could have been stopped.